So that's all. For this meeting. Your Excellency, President of the Chairman of the National Assembly, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Senate.
You with individual recognition, but we are very, very privileged to be in your presence, and we are happy to be here, especially to show our enormous gratitude to this Senate and the National Assembly in general for creating a massive reform in the oil and gas sector of our country. Needless to mention, Your Excellency, that without the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act, this industry will still be struggling with fiscal situations, confidence of investors, clarity around investments, which have stifled growth in our industry for very, very many years. His Excellency, you recall that a reform process to put in place the appropriate legislation which will separate commercial operations from regulatory function and create a competitive business environment was started in the year 2000. It never came to conclusion until the year 2021. That's Act. The Petroleum Industry Act is set in all other corporate governance requirements that a typical company should do. And we have followed this reform religiously, Excellency, to the words and letters of the law that we passed. And ultimately, it has led to results, Excellency. Part of it is that this company today rose from a loss position in 2018 to a net profit loss of 803 billion, let me be precise, Excellency, in 2018 to a profit position of 274 billion in 2021. I would also like to add, Excellency, that it didn't stop there. That our financial statements for 2022 have not been published. But I can also tell you that we are not just doubling that performance. This company is very, very likely to post profits in the excess of 2 trillion naira in 2022. This wouldn't have happened if legislation didn't support it, if the enabling environment is not created. And as a matter of fact, Excellency, this company's net projected government tech is over 4 trillion. And not only that, His Excellency, since July, we have started paying dividend to shareholders. We have started paying interim dividend to the Federation. Excellency, all this won't happen except you have the appropriate reform that is in place. And of course, because by creation of the National Assembly, this company is expected to guarantee national energy security. This has very wide and robust implications. The thought may be around supply of PMS, but it is not. Energy security is almost always related to national security. We understand this, Excellency. And as a result of this, we took every possibility of supporting this government to ensure that energy supply is stable, creating cheaper energy through our robust engagement in the CNG deployment process, which will definitely bring cheaper transportation fuel to Nigerians, and ultimately guarantee energy security. Countries go to war to secure energy security. We are happy that this is not our case, and this is being sustained. And I can also confirm to you this moment, Excellency, that we have robust supply plan from now until next year, and endless. But we have immediate plan, we always plan for 3 months, and I can guarantee you, Excellency, that we do not see any shortages in our country. You may see a number of scattered reports of seeing maybe 5, 10 cars in fuel stations, and people will call it queues. They are not, Excellency. This is the result of the reforms that you also created, Excellency. And what really meant is that our company today occupies over 30% of the downstream business in the country. We are struggling to 10 to 12% for over 20 years. Now we occupy over 30% of the downstream business. And because we are an end-to-end company, Excellency, we are involved in clearly everything from the upstream all the way to the fuel station. Nigerians have choice now. They go to wherever you see queues is our fuel station, because first there's guarantee of quality. There is also guarantee that we are very likely to set at lower prices than others. And that's why you are still working. Otherwise, there is absolutely no reason for any indication of this. And we understand the markets, and we also understand that private companies are still not able to optimally provide supply into our markets. I am aware also that substantial work is done by government, the Ministry of Finance associated with the support of Mr. President, to ensure that that stability is further ingrained so that ultimately other marketing companies can be involved in the entire supply and distribution process as we are doing. Excellency, there is no business of our size that doesn't have challenges. And the key trouble we have today is crude oil theft, Excellency. By July 2022, we are almost on our knees. Our production went down, both crude oil and condensate, to below 1 million barrels. This was because it was no longer possible to produce oil. Our major trunk pipelines were shut down because of the activities of vendors. We are happy in the previous Senate and this Senate, there are actions that have been taken to ensure that we get to the bottom of this, to support us, to support government in making sure that those excesses are clearly contained. But I'm happy to also say that with robust interventions in the last 5 to 6 months, where government security agencies have done things differently, our intervention through the private security contractors has yielded results. And today, I can happily tell you that we have recovered crude oil and condensate production almost closing 1.7 million barrels. We are not there, but we'll be there. This is not our ambition, Excellency. Our ambition is to beat the budget level, which we are very conscious about, is within sight and within possibility. But we can actually exceed it. And with all the ongoing activities and engagements, the support of Mr. President in particular, around how to contain the issue of infractions on our pipeline, the actions of vendors, which I'm also aware, and we are engaging the distinguished Senate in making sure that something is done about it to contain it to the BRS minimum, so that we can do two things: restore current pipelines, so that we can continue to increase current production, and also restore confidence of investors, so that no one will produce oil when he's not sure of delivery of that oil into the market. And that is why we took the frontal position to attack this situation, bring it to control, and we're happy that today is within his control. And without waiting for you to ask, Excellency, where would an oil-producing country be importing petroleum products? This is unfortunate, avoidable, but it's not a helpless situation. What we are doing today is to start both the Port Harcourt and Warri refinery. First, starting with the Port Harcourt refinery, we are very, very sure, and of course, force majeure bearing, and I do not anticipate this, our planning is excellent. We will start the Port Harcourt refinery in December. And definitely the Warri refinery in the first quarter, but we cannot say the same thing about Kaduna. Our plan is to start it by the end of 2024. And this perhaps will be complemented, or we will complement the expected startup of a number of small-scale refineries that, yes, will add value, but clearly perhaps not cover the gap that we are seeing in supply. And with the startup of the Dangote refinery, we know that in 2024, and we're very convinced with all the planning that is on ground, that this country will definitely be a net exporter of petroleum products in 2024. This by no means is not a small feat, but it is clearly within sight and within the promises that the reform has brought. And we can see, Mr. Excellency, that a number of refinery initiatives are coming up. And the reason is very simple, Excellency, that when there is a subsidy environment, no one will put his money because they are not sure of full recovery, of course. And that is why we are seeing a number of new refinery initiatives are coming up. And ultimately, the value will be created here before any export in our country. And overall, this company, which is prime to the national development, including creating prosperity in this country, and there's no country in the world, Excellency, that has developed without power. It doesn't exist. There's no country with a huge GDP without having per capita large-scale access to power. It doesn't exist anywhere. And that is why our company, we're investing in the robust infrastructure to deliver gas into domestic market, not just for creating gas-based industries or creating chemicals, but to ensure that we support the existing thermal plants so that power will be available in our country, and ultimately the prosperity that we're all looking for will come forward. This, no doubt, is within sight also, Excellency. A number of key strategic infrastructure projects are being developed. Many of them are at the point of commissioning. Some will come up in the coming years, and we're going to work with your committees on gas, on upstream, and also the downstream to continue to keep them informed and seek their support, as we always do, to ensure that this country becomes a prosperous country. And we know that the key to this is creating power in our country, and no doubt, without creating the power, you cannot distribute it. And we're very conscious of this, and we're involved in the overall value chain from creation of the power, delivering that to the power plant, and by law also, Excellency, people are allowed to do captive powers, and that's what we're engaging. And ultimately, within the next 2 to 3 years, the prosperity that we all expect, the developmental goals that this Senate and our country are within sight and within. And we're here, really here, Excellency, to thank you, to continue to count on the help of this Senate to deliver the value to the shareholder, which includes all the 200+ million Nigerians, and of course, meeting our mandate, which is to provide energy security for our country. Excellency, I know I've talked too much, but we're happy to be here. We're very, very privileged to be in your presence and other distinguished senators. And we're working for you. We are serving this country. Thank you very much.
Of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Distinguished Senator Ibrahim Barrow, the leader of the Senate, my dear brother, Distinguished Senator Akpabio, the Deputy Whip of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my brother, Distinguished Senator Webwe Okocha, the Minority Leader of the Senate, the newest Minority Leader of the Senate, the Distinguished Senator Abba Moro. Of course, I recognize all other senators, including the Senate Deputy Minority Whip, in the person of the same Senator Olare. I have seen also the various chairmen who are directly connected with the oil sector. Distinguished Senator Jaribe, Chairman, Senate Committee on Gas, Distinguished Senator Edna Williams, Chairman, Senate Committee on Upstream, of course, Distinguished my mission. I just came back with him from Angola, then suddenly we won election yesterday. I became the newest Minority Whip of the Senate. Very distinguished senator. I was looking at you like the normal senator I went to. Chairman of the Federal Committee on the Army, my brother, Senator Yadra, and then the Distinguished Senator Lamido, Chairman, Federal Committee on Basic Education, Health, Grammar Health, NNPCL or NNPCL. Your committee has not changed. Distinguished Senator Canada, distinguished Chairman, Senate Committee of Public Affairs, my sister, Senator Haja Ireti Kingibe, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Women Affairs, my brother, distinguished Senator Isa Jibrin, Chairman, Senate Committee on Custom Services, and any other senator that I'm yet to recognize, you have to pardon me. Let me join you to welcome the group managing director, the GMD of NNPC, our brother Mele Kyari, the group CEO, and also the other various CEOs like Omar Ajia, who is the Chief Financial Officer of the group. So you can imagine the weight of money on his head. The Executive Vice President downstream, that was Shehu, the Executive Vice President upstream, Mrs. Eson, the Executive Vice President, Gas and Energy, Mr. Dule, Executive Vice President, Business Services, Mr. Musa Ribado, yes, and Dr. Ribado, and the Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Rubani, and of course, the other top management officials accompanying the group chief executive officer, staff of the various arms of the oil sector, and staff of the Senate President, Senate President, and the offices, the National Assembly, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I will start by apologizing to the delegation from the oil sector, the oil regulators, and the oil, they are also in the production. With your upstream, or your MPDC. This is in existence. Well, what do you call it? NEP. The names are confusing, but the dollar is still the same. I will start by welcoming all of you to the Senate. The Senate is under renovation. So where you are may not be as beautiful and as cool as your offices. You know, we are in the business of making laws, so we are not in the oil sector. So we can't be as oily as you are. But we apologize that we were having a sitting on your behalf. We just concluded discussions on the MTEP and the FSP, and the medium-term expenditure framework, and the fiscal strategy paper, which will be the basis of the budget presentation for 2024, 2025, and 2026. As we know, such a very voluminous document, so our various committees had to distill and eventually present it and we took them clause by clause. So we have a little bit of a time. So I want to thank you for your patience, which of course was patience in the right direction, because we're engaged in national assignment, just like you are. But on behalf of the Senate, I welcome you, and I even applaud you for the initiative to come in, spend some time with us, probably hear from us, and then show that yes, we may be in different corporations and different endeavors, but we are all working for only one purpose, the Nigerian project. under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I really thank you for coming to see us in the Senate. We feel delighted. We feel we have a sense of belonging. We may have a few questions to ask you, not because that is what you came for. You just came to familiarize with the leadership and also the members of the Senate. But it's an opportunity that we are here because some of you could have been in Dubai or in Doha, answering questions or attending to a lot of other important oil sector matters. But since you're in the Senate today, you will spare us a few minutes after this courtesy call so that we can have a little bit of 5 to 10 minutes interaction. Am I speaking the wishes of the Senate? Those who are in support of my speech say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. And the ayes have it. So we will have that interactive session there. The CFO dropped his hat. which means he has dropped the camera. so you're welcome. I am very excited with the narration that you just gave to us. It's part of the renewed hope. Nigerians want to hear good news. And then you came with a lot of them. I'm sure a lot of headlines have been created from most of the things you were saying. And the smallest one that may look ordinary, but it affects the Nigerian economy, is the fact that no more fuel queues. That in the next 3 months or thereabout, that you have made adequate arrangement to ensure that Nigerians can drive into the filling station and purchase their fuel or diesel and go back home without hassles and without sleeping there during this Christmas season. So we want to congratulate you for looking forward. And of course, that initiative is good. And you also, in the course of your speech, you mentioned that in 2018, that you had a deficit and a very, very serious indebtedness of 803 billion. 803 billion. That was your declared loss. But that has been, today that has gone, and you are now talking about operational surplus in terms of gains of almost 200, about up to 2 trillion. Up to 2 trillion. And you believe that by the end of the year, or expectedly by year 2024, that the government and the good people of Nigeria should expect not less than 4 trillion as an input into the national budget of the country. This is also worth commending. And it goes in line with our campaign promises that we are coming here to not just improve the lives of the people, but also improve our revenue generating capacities with a view to meeting the infrastructural needs and the other needs of Nigerians. So again, congratulations for this giant step. I must say that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the 10th Senate, is appreciative of your efforts and will partner with you in all endeavors, including rejigging where necessary, tinkering where necessary, crossing the T's where necessary, and dotting the I's where necessary in terms of our various legislations in order to smoothen the ease of doing business in the oil sector and also assisting you to improve on performance. For us, one of our key objectives also is capacity building. This is a people-focused Senate, and we also like to improve our capacity to improve on our legislation so that when we come out with laws, there will be laws that will benefit not just Nigerians, but will live for a long time on the sands of time to assist, to guide, and deepen democracy. So we'll be demanding and requesting and appealing that as you train your staff, also look at the National Assembly and include some of us, not just training in the oil sector, but assisting us to build capacity to provide more services to our people. On the whole, myself, the Deputy Senate President, the leadership of the Senate, and all the distinguished senators are happy and proud of your activities. And we thank Mr. President for the various initiatives taken so far, one of which was the issue of the abolition of the fuel subsidy regime, which I believe will increase the revenue capacity of the government to meet other obligations and also bring about what the public used to perceive as a major fraud in the sector. And I'm also insisting that you deepen the idea of producing what we consume and consuming what we produce. Imports are difficult these days with a spiraling inflation, inflationary trend everywhere, and the falling naira. So if we can encourage modular refineries and then also the takeoff of the various Nigerian refineries, the Warri refinery, the Port Harcourt refinery, the Kaduna refineries, and all that, it will help us a lot to produce what we consume and then to consume what we produce. And the multiplier effect will also be the fact that we would have created a lot of jobs for the teeming youths in Nigeria, which would ultimately reduce incidences of insecurity. Let me use that word. And even the idea of oil theft will also be reduced when people are meaningfully engaged. We've taken the cursory look at the oil sector today. We made some resolutions on how we can cope the various incidents of the threat to pipelines and then the oil theft that, and we'll be communicating it to you and the various operators in the sector of our thinking in order to enable you to do much better. I thank you for this visit, and I assure you of the cooperation of the Nigerian Senate. Thank you and welcome.
Great job, Excellencies. No, come, yes, sir.